good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching me from. Yeah, it's morning for me, so yeah, early morning. Well, not so early. It's like a minute to 7 right now, and yeah, I wanted us to talk about just which word should I use? Like about scheduling, but in terms of how you update your calendar. Yeah. So there's different ways to do it. I'll share what I do. So I have like a blackboard in the kitchen where I write the events or the tasks, you know, of the week or for the week, however you want to say that. And so that's just to like really remind me. It's like the last um, check for me, like I check to see, okay, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that, or when I'm on my way out, it's I just have a look to make sure that I haven't missed anything. And so it's very important that I update the board almost on a daily. Speaking of, I need to do it now. It's long overdue. Yeah, so I do that. I also have my notebook where I write down stuff, and I also have my phone and my email, where I log in whatever it is that I need to do, different events and stuff like that. So it is, hi Anna, how are you? It's been a minute. Hi, my sister, Sasa. So good to see you here. I'm doing good, Anna. It's been a minute. I am doing great. Thanks for asking. I can't say it live right now because I have to get ready for school, but God bless you and have a good day. God bless you too. Have a wonderful day at school. Hope to see you later. You can always watch the live later. I'll save it for you guys. Yeah. Bye, Anna. Yeah, so like I was saying, when I'm updating my calendar, I do it, in different ways. I've spoken of the blackboards in the kitchen, my phone, what else? My email. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much how I do it. And I also jot down things in my notebook just in case I need to like check and see that I'm not missing anything. But even with all of these updates, there are chances that I always, not always, but sometimes would miss something. It's human nature. But when it comes to like very important things that you need to prioritize, you cannot afford to just like miss an appointment or miss your flight. There are those things that you can't really miss because there's like a financial implication. Maybe it will cost you money, and I've come to find out that when it costs me money, I tend to remember. Yeah, so yeah, um I got this from the store. I'll just show you guys this one. Okay, it's a whiteboard that I was thinking I can use, yeah, so it's like the new addition to my calendar. So here I had written a few things for March, but I had missed, the important part, which is like the date, to indicate the date. So I'm just gonna wrap this off, and then I was thinking maybe we can update it together, but I'll just try to see if I can put in the dates there and see how it goes. So the good thing with this, okay, you can also color code on like when you're updating your calendar, in your notebook or your emails. There's the option of color coding. Color coding really helps to categorize activities into different tasks and events, as you see fit. And it would also help you to prioritize, whatever needs to be prioritized. Yeah, so say for example, if your high priority event is like red, you choose red for that. So anytime you see anything in red, it alerts you that, oops, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, this needs to be done. Yeah, so oopsie, what's happening here? Why is it not coming off? All right, so we are in March, but I think we're almost done with March, so I will try and update this for April. Yeah, so let's see. Let me pull up the calendar. Yo, time flies by so fast. How are we almost at the end of March? This is crazy. All right, so I just want to see the dates. Okay. This is not the one. Excusez-moi. 2025. All right, so got it. I got it. What is happening? What in the world is happening? Okay, maybe I need to quit this. It's hanging. Okay, let me try again. So we're just trying to see how to update our calendars, because sometimes we get very, very busy and you can easily miss something or forget something important, and you don't want to do that. And sometimes it's very difficult to remember dates, especially for me. I could know the day and I'm like, oh my gosh, but what's the date? I need to know the date. All right, so I hope my online calendar is good. I actually have like a physical calendar that I was given, but I don't know where it is right now. So I think I'll just use this black pen. Or let me show you guys my wonderful cup with my pens. I woke up. Oops. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I got this cup at the One World Observatory in New York City. If you want to go, I highly recommend. It's very beautiful. You get to see the city, at a very high elevated height. Let me say angle. Yeah, so really, like, one of the things that's, I would suggest that you do when you visit New York City. So 1st April, which is April Fool's Day. So guys, stay on alert. Okay, it's April Fool's Day on, on Tuesday. Do not be fooled. So that is one. Okay. And I think I'll use a different color at the top to write the month. Okay. So the month is April. April is like spring month, so colors. I'm thinking brights. Okay. Maybe orange. I love me some orange. So I hope you guys can see. Okay, so April. Oh, this is quite light. I want something dark, something that I can actually see. And guys, if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the live. Okay, I need something like this. Oops. All right, got it. Yeah, this is much better. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, I can see it. So, April. Okay, yeah. And sometimes I like to put like the love hearts here. Boop, boop. No, I don't like that shape. So I'm gonna change it. See, this is the beauty of having like the whiteboard. So yeah, but maybe if you have kids, you might want to put it away from them, because what if they accidentally, erase something that you had put on there? So I'll just fill it in to give it that depth. Fill it in, fill it in. Yep. All right. So this is the month, okay? April. Can you guys see it? All right. And yep. All right. So the first of the month starts on Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday is 2nd, Thursday 3rd, Friday 4th. The first time I was updating my calendar here, I totally forgot to put the dates. So I was like, okay, I have this activity today, or I need to complete this task today, but what is the date? How do I know? Yeah. So it's very, very important that you update, like you make sure that the dates are on there. All right. So 5th, Saturday, Sunday is the 6th. So we'll just continue that way until we get to 30. So 7, 8. See, that's why it's important to go to school and study, because then you can count and write properly. 9, basic math at play here. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Kevin. 19. Oopsie. 20. Okay, I have 20 here. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I don't have kids now. 27, 28, 29, 30. So we all know that April has 30 days. Yes, I'm married and I'm from Kenya. So I will just indicate that it's April Fool's Day on the 1st, so that I'm just like on alert. I don't want to be fooled on that day. So I will look for, I don't have a red one. Oh, geez. Where did the red one go to? I'm pretty sure I have it somewhere, so I'll look for it later. But for purposes of this, maybe I'll just use this. Yeah, but I want to use red for my high priority events, tasks, and activities. So I will write here April Fool's Day. See? April Fool's Day, and then that will remind me. And my sister's birthday is also in April. I'll update that on here. And other important things. So this is just like a cool way for me to be reminded of the things that I need to do. Yeah, and it's very important, that I am reminded of stuff. Yeah, like I told you, I also have a calendar like in my phone that is updated, I have a blackboard in the kitchen. I have a notebook. So I have like different ways in which what did I just do? Did I just the English language? So I update my calendar in different ways. Yeah, and this is one of the ways that I have decided to do it. Yeah, and I like it because it's colorful. It's like just easy because I'm able to see everything at a glance. It's like once I update everything here, I can just have a look and I can make a mental note, and it's easy for me. Yeah. So if it's something that can work for you, you can try it out. My boxes are smaller, so I try and fix in whatever I can fix in there. And yeah, I just ordered this on Amazon. So if it's something you're interested in, you can do that. Yeah. So I'll update the rest later. Oh, there's even like a place here for notes. I'll show you guys for notes and your to-do lists, Yeah. So, yep. I'll update it later. And yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this. See if you guys are interested. And I'll just put it on here. It's quite heavy. All right. So now that we have our calendar out of the way, oh, it's also good for like your doctor's appointments, or if you have planned like a date with your friends and family. Yeah. So it's a cool way to remind yourself of the things that you need to do. When I was younger, I didn't need a lot of these things. I would just like remember. But now I have a lot of things to do and to think about, and my brain is kind of saturated. Well, maybe not, but that's how I feel. All right. So I would like us to talk about polygamy. I know. This can be a touchy subject. I've talked about this before here. And so you can just search on my page, this YouTube page, and you'll see like, maybe if you just search polygamy, there's a video that will come up. And I believe in that video, we've talked about polygamy. Yeah, and I just wanted to talk about it some more. All right. So yeah, here we are. So polygamy, what is polygamy? When you hear polygamy, you're thinking, oh, I think when we hear polygamy, I'll speak for myself. When I hear polygamy, the first thing that comes to my mind is like a man married, to many or multiple wives at the same time or at a time. Yeah. So one man married to multiple wives. But it would surprise us or surprise you to know that if you don't know already, that polygamy includes polygyny. I'm really trying to pronounce this word right. So it's polygyny, I think. You just have to excuse me. It's quite difficult for me to pronounce, but it's polygyny or polygyny. Yeah, polygyny. It's spelled Polygyny. So this is when the man is married to multiple wives. Did you know that? And polyandry, that's when a woman is married to multiple husbands at a time. So yeah, polygyny. Hi Matthew, how are you doing today? Polygyny, a man is married to multiple wives. Polyandry, a woman is married to multiple husbands. So I'll be honest, I've never heard of a situation where a woman is married to multiple husbands. I'm not saying that these situations or these arrangements don't exist. I've just not heard of one. So if maybe you guys know of such a situation, you can share, in the chat section or in the comment section once this live is done. Yeah. So, polygyny, one man, multiple wives. Polyandry, one woman, multiple husbands. So this is polygamy. All right. Polygamy is illegal in the USA. Yeah. So here in the United States of America, polygamy is illegal in all the 50 states. So don't even think about it. If you're thinking of polygamy, no. And to the O, to the no, no, no. You don't want to get in trouble because since it's illegal, it means there are repercussions to it, and you just don't want to go down that route. All right. So polygyny, which is a man married to multiple wives, is legal in some countries. So I'll speak of Kenya. In Kenya, it's legal. I believe it was signed into law by the then president of Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta, in 2014. All right. So the Marriage Act in Kenya now recognizes both monogamous and polygamous unions. So Kenya is predominantly Christian in terms of religion. So that's being said, it translates to a lot of Kenyans, being in monogamous unions. All right. But if you look at how marriages were years back, I would say maybe I don't want to go way back because even as we speak now, we have polygamous unions in Kenya, yeah, not as widespread as they were years back, but yeah, these unions do exist. So I would say maybe 50 years back, polygamy was like very normal, like it wasn't like frowned upon or shunned or anything like that. It was normal for a man to marry one, two, three, four, as many wives as he could, or as he wanted to. In most instances, then, from what I've heard and read, the man would like kind of just talk to the first wife about bringing or marrying other other wives or other women. Yeah. So there would be a discussion, and the first wife would not be blindsided. All right. But once this marriage acts, came into play in Kenya, the consent is not needed. Like the first wife's consent is not needed anymore. Meaning the man can just marry as many wives as he wants to without informing the first wife. All right. But if you are already married, like if you're already in a monogamous union, then you just can't turn around. I'm speaking of Kenya, guys. Yeah. You just can't turn around and be like, oh, I've changed my mind. Now I want to marry other wives. No. So it has to be clear from the jump, Yeah. So if you're in a monogamous union where you have pledged your loyalty, your love, your allegiance, call it what you may, to one person, yeah. So you cannot just turn around and be like, I'm gonna marry another wife, I'm gonna marry another wife. And even if you do, kinda, it is not recognized in law, right? Yeah. So when this law came into play in Kenya, as you can imagine, the women were not so happy. Most women, let me not say all women. Yeah, but most women were not happy about it. The men were, of course, excited, you know. Especially, I think, when there's that stipulation that you don't need to consult your first wife. Come on, that is like, how can I say, it's really like, what can I don't want to say like candy to kids, but it's just something that I feel would excite men, because as you've heard it being said many times, men are polygamous in nature. And just imagine polygyny, or like, let me just say polygamy, being legalized in Kenya. So I am curious to note, because as far as I know, polyandry is not legal. Okay. So I don't think I should even say that polygamy is legal in Kenya when a man can, sorry, when a woman, my bad, when a woman cannot marry multiple husbands. Let me just check. Let me just do a quick check here to find out if polyandry is legal in Kenya. Let me see if it's legal in Kenya. Let's find out. Is it legal in Kenya, polyandry? What country is polyandry legal? So according to Google, there's an area called the Plateau of Tibet. So it's a region shared by India, Nepal, and the Tibet Autonomous Region of China. So that is where it's practiced. I don't know if it's legal there. Okay, so the polygamy in Kenya is to be understood as polygyny. Yeah, so when I say polygamy is legal in Kenya, this is not to be confused with both polygyny and polyandry. It's only polygyny, it's only for the men. So as a woman in Kenya, no, you cannot be married to multiple husbands. Yeah, so I think they should just say that it's polygyny that's legal. Because if you say polygamy is legal, then someone might be confused unless they actually go and read the law, which I think many people don't really do in detail. All right, so there you have it. Polygyny is legal in Kenya, but you have to do it the right way. If you want to go the polygamy route, you have to read the law and find out what you need to do to be in such a union. But once you go the monogamous way, that's it. So Christian marriages are automatically monogamous. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, so Christian marriages are automatically monogamous. We have Islamic marriages in Kenya also. If you're getting married under the Islamic law, or I think Sharia law, you are allowed up to 4 wives. Yeah, but I think there are also conditions to that. And yeah, but polygyny, you can marry as many wives as possible. There is no limits. Okay. So maybe if you're dating a Kenyan man or you're married to a Kenyan, you need to find out, and especially if you have not really, uh, if you're not married in the church, or you haven't gone to the attorney general, like being married in court in Kenya, we refer to it as being married, as maybe going to the attorney general's office and getting married. Yeah, so if you're not married in that way and you identify as someone's wife, not really identify, is that the right word to use? But you believe that you're married, you really need to find out, because you might be in a polygamous union without your knowledge. But I think now they even provide paperwork for that. So I don't think it would be without your knowledge. Yeah. So if you're married now, you need to have some form of paperwork just to know that you're married. Yeah. Because even traditional marriages, there is paperwork with that the government can provide. All right. So the law, the Marriage Act of Kenya, not really the Marriage Act, but the law in Kenya. Let me just say the law in Kenya because I don't know if it's just restricted to the Marriage Act. Maybe they're under law. Maybe there are other laws. Woo! What am I saying? Yeah, as well. So there are different types of marriages in Kenya which are recognized. There's the monogamous one, polygamous, customary, Christian, Islamic, Hindu, and Hindu. Yeah. So polygamy has been practiced in Kenya, and when I say polygamy, I'm referring to polygyny. So polygamy, polygyny. Anytime I say polygamy, insert polygyny. All right. Yeah. So it's been practiced in Kenya, and it's particularly within traditional communities and the Muslim community. For the Muslim community, it's only up to 4 wives. Traditional community, as many wives as possible. When you go to villages in Kenya, where polygamy, inside polygyny, is practiced, you'll see like a compound with different houses, and there is a method to how every house is built. Like the first house, the first wife's house, there's like a specific spot for that, and then the second wife, third wife, as many wives as the man sees fit. Okay, that's just how it is. Yeah. So different houses for different wives, and all the kids, because in Kenya, kids were like a sign of wealth. So as a man, you're respected in the community, and this is tied down to your wealth in terms of maybe cattle, land, and then we have children. Okay. So that is why for some men, it was imperative that they marry multiple wives for procreation purposes, because one wife can only give you so many kids. So that was the thinking. Okay. And also, like it has been alluded to many times, men are polygamous in nature. And that is why right now in Kenya, there's also this trend of side chicks where, so it's a situation, I don't know how best to explain this. Like someone is married, a man is married, and maybe he feels the need to like have another woman in his life, and he's in a monogamous relationship. So he takes on another woman, but this other woman cannot be his wife. So hence the term. What is happening to me today? Hence the term side chick. As a Christian, this is considered adultery. It is sin. It's against the law. So does this mean that there are Christians who don't do it? No, because there are many people who are Christians who have side chicks. So this is a trend that's really happening. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know how to feel about polygamy. Arguments have been made for polygamy and against polygamy. For polygamy, in the sense that if the man is going to cheat, okay, why not just honor these women by making them his wives, instead of stepping out on the wife and embarrassing the wife and stuff like that. The arguments against polygamy could be in the context of religion. For Christians, it's a no, one man, one wife. So as a Christian, you cannot have Another argument against polygamy is that it affects the kids, and there is like rivalry amongst the wives, or the sister wives, as they're called in other parts of the world. So it's not everyone's cup of tea. Let me just say that. Okay. So while the law recognizes polygamy, some aspects have been criticized, particularly concerning the rights of women and the potential for complications in property and succession matters. Now, the last part is very, very sensitive, because when it comes to succession, property, in terms of property or whatever needs to be inherited and stuff like that, it becomes very complicated. Sometimes it becomes very messy. Hi, Glenn. How are you today? So good to see you here. Yeah, so I am thinking, I don't know this for sure, I'm thinking that maybe the reason why the male lawmakers in Kenya pushed for polygamy to be legal, polygyny in this case, because polyandry is illegal. I don't know why. Because I'm thinking it's because if polygamy is being legalized and polygamy is polygyny and polyandry, why not legalize both? But it would be taboo, let me say, in Africa for a woman to be married to multiple husbands, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, but for a man to marry multiple wives, it is normal in Africa. Unless maybe when we are talking of now Christianity. So as a Christian, it is not right. It is a sin to be married, to more than one wife. Yeah. In Islam, you're allowed up to 4 wives. Yeah, I think I touched on that earlier. I was just, reiterating so that we don't miss that point. So the challenges, like we said, is there would be rivalry, amongst the sister wives. And also when it comes to inheritance, it becomes quite tricky, especially if the man or the husband did not leave a written will that clearly stipulates who should receive what and what, should happen after his demise or his passing. So, yeah, so that could be one of the challenges. The other thing that also happens in Kenya that I have seen happening, sometimes the man marries in secret, and this used to happen before this law came into effect. Now that we have a law that legalizes polygyny, I don't think it happens as often, but I'm sure it still happens, because maybe there are some instances where the first wife is like, no, you're not going to marry a second wife, or even when she finds out that there's a second wife, maybe some men just don't want to go through all that confrontation and hassle and all those challenges. So maybe in such instances, they just prefer not to let the first wife know anything. The second, third, and subsequent wives would probably know that there is a first wife, yeah. But at that point, I don't think they really care that much. They're like, I'm cool, so long as, I'm being taken care of, I'm fine. Anywho, or anyhow, or anyway. Sometimes what happens at the funeral, or maybe at the burial, you see all these kids come up and say that, they are the deceased children. And most wives are left in shock in such instances, Imagine being married to someone for years and you had no idea that this person had a whole family or different families out there. Like, as far as you know, you are one happy big family and your kids are his only kids. And you have no idea that there are other kids who exist out there. But you find out, um, you find out at the burial or at the funeral ceremony. So what normally happens, the husband's family, most often than not, um, the husband family, I think, knows about this. So it's the wife or maybe the wives, depending on who the husband decided to disclose. I don't even want to say like disclose the information, because these are children we are talking about. These are like human beings, you know? Yeah. So it happens, the kids come up and they're like, oh, and they're included in the entire, ceremony, as they should, because they're, uh, the deceased is their father. So, I mean, that's just the right thing to do. But you can imagine the kind of pain and turmoil and heartache that the wife goes through. Because one, you're mourning your husband, and you are just thrown into this craziness, where now you have other things to deal with, so you're dealing with hurt, betrayal, pain. It's a lot. It's a lot. That's why I would just prefer, for full disclosure. For the men, I think it's only right, for your wife to know like what you're up to, so that if she decides to stay, fine. If not, then she can deal with that. But to just blindside someone like that, it's crazy. Yeah. And I think it causes a lot of damage that maybe people tend not to pay attention to. Yeah. Because what this person will be told is, like, the person will be told that, that's just how men are. A man cannot be with one wife or one woman. Just deal with it. That's how your ancestors live, blah blah blah. But then that is not going to erase the pain and the hurt and all those things. So it's a lot for someone to take. It's a lot for someone to take. And you're put in a situation, I'm speaking of the wife now, you're put in a situation where now you have to inform your kids that they have siblings, and then it's just a lot. It's too much. It's too much, yeah. So I would suggest, like, for the men out there who want to practice polygamy, insert polygyny, please do it the right way. That is just my plea. Do it the right way. If this is what you've chosen to do, let every party involved know, what they're signing up for. Yeah. And I feel like this would work out in the best interest of everyone. Yeah. Because if you're ready to enjoy the, I don't want to say the fruits, but if you're ready to enjoy all the good things that come with polygamy, I think you should also be ready to face the challenges. I mean, it's the only right thing to do. You can't have your cake and eat it. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, but for the Christians, don't consider polygamy, because it's not even allowed. So, yeah, that is not even something to consider. All right. This is not for you. Yeah. So, the Kenyan Marriage Act, initially it was a bill. Initially, there was a bill that allowed for the first wife to veto the husband's choice of additional spouses, but that clause was removed. So, like I said earlier, a Kenyan man can now, just marry multiple wives without informing the first wife. It's the law, guys. It's the law. Yeah. And this law also stipulates that the wives are entitled to an equal share of whatever the couple acquired during the marriage. So this can be a bit tricky, because then how do you decide which couple in that polygamy situation acquired it? I don't know, but I think there's a way it's done. Yeah. Yep. And oh, so another way that maybe polygamy took place in Kenya, or still takes place in Kenya, there are situations where, let's say, a brother inherits, or let me say, a man inherits his brother's wife. So I'll give you guys an example, and this happens in the Luo community. I'm Luo by tribe, so I know for a fact that it happens. Take it from me. Yeah. So say uh, I'll just give you like an example. Let me try and use an illustration. Say that a man dies, his brother inherits the wife. Okay, meaning his brother will marry his wife, take on the deceased brother's wife as his own, and marry the wife. This is something that has been practiced over the years in the Luo community. It's almost automatic, like you don't need to like debate on it or anything like that. It's just like that unwritten rule. Like once your brother has passed on, uh, any, not really any sibling. I don't know if there is an order, because I believe there's a way they do it. Maybe it could be the elder or the older brother inherits the wife. Yeah. So takes on the wife and all the kids, and then that becomes his wife. Yeah. But nowadays, I, I think there are women who just don't accept that, they choose to get remarried on their own terms. But way, way back, there was no debates. It was a done deal, and you could not go against the elders. Yeah, so that is something that you knew would happen. Yeah, but nowadays, I don't think everyone practices that. No, I do not believe so. Yeah, because even when my dad passed on, my mom is still unmarried, and my dad has siblings. Yeah, so I don't think like in this day and age it's practiced, but way before it was. And again, I would not be surprised to find out that this is a practice that's still going on. In fact, what I will do when I go back to Kenya, I'm going to try and find out if this is something that's still happening. And if it is, I'll be happy to share, yeah. Because we are in the process of learning. We need to learn, and we need to know, that things happen differently, that there are different customs and traditions in different parts of the world. And yeah. Okay, so just to wrap this up, I will just mention a few things that maybe I think I miss. Yeah. So, like I said earlier, women were not so thrilled when this law came into effect, or came into play in Kenya in 2014. Some women, like in the Federation of Women Lawyers, and this is CNN World reporting, a powerful women's rights group, that's the Federation of Women of Lawyers, so some women applauded aspects of the bill and criticized others. Okay, let me say that again, so that I make sure I don't misrepresent anything. So the Federation of Women Lawyers, a powerful women's rights group, applauded aspects of the bill and criticized others. Okay, so this group applauded some aspects and criticized others. And polygamy already exists. So even with or without this law, it was something that was happening. I think the law is just to make sure that no one is cheated out of their rights when it comes to the women. So I think it's more of to protect the women than the men. Okay. Yeah. So I think the only issue that women had here was that they really wanted the first wife to have a say in picking the husband's co-wives, you know? After all, the first wife you'd assume is the first love. I'm thinking. Maybe wishful thinking. But just out of respect, imagine the shame and the stress that you have to deal with, when you find out with the rest of the world that, oops, your husband has a second wife. And then before you even digest the information, oops, there's a third one. Because if a man can marry a second wife, trust and believe he can marry a second, third, up to whatever number he chooses. Yeah. The moment he is okay with marrying another wife, that means he's okay with marrying multiple women. I'm just saying. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that is that on that issue. What I will do when I go to Kenya, I'm not promising, but I will try to see if we can interact with people who are actually practicing polygamy, polygyny in this case. I would love to interact with someone who practices polyandry just to try and understand why someone would even do that, because I don't even think it's acceptable in society. I don't know of any religion that practices polyandry, to be honest. Yeah. But polygyny, we know that in the Islamic religion it's practiced. I don't know about Hindu though. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, that is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this session. If you feel like I misrepresented any facts, please let me know. Fact check me, okay? In the chat section, in the comment section. Yeah. But for those who did not know, yes, polygamy. Let me just say polygyny, because if I say polygamy, someone might think both polygyny and polyandry. No. Yeah. Is legal in most countries in Africa. It is legal in Kenya. But also we have to realize that we have different unions in Kenya as well. Yeah. So for you to practice polygyny, you have to really read the law and make sure you're doing it the right way. Yeah, because you don't want to think that, oh, I'm in this polygamous relationship and maybe you're not. Maybe what you are doing is committing adultery without you knowing. Yeah. So that's why it's important to read the law and before you get married, because marriage is a serious thing. It's not something to be played with. Yeah. So just know what you're getting into, and yeah, I think that would be good for all parties involved and the society at large. Anyway, so unless you guys have any questions for me, any thoughts, any comments, anyone, I'll wait. Going once, going twice, three times. All right. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching and for liking this live, for commenting. Please share widely, and I will see you later, hopefully later on today. I hope, I really do hope. Yeah. And maybe when my energy levels are up, because I know I've been sounding kind of sleepy. I need to wake up. It was an early morning for me today. Yeah. Yes. So that's it for calendar talk and polygamy in Africa. There are other countries also that practice polygamy. Nigeria, I believe. Yeah. And other countries as well. Yeah. I don't know whether they're legal or not. I can only speak of Kenya, because I know for a fact that there is a law in place. All right, so that's it for now. I'll see you guys soon. And like I always say, please be a kind human. It does not cost a thing, and the world needs more kindness. The world needs more kind people. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.